Hey guys, welcome back to Icons TV here on Urban TV, and we are checking out new products, and we're hanging with Dave Skins from Akai. How are you doing, Dave?
Always well, always well.
So tell us a little bit about Akai. This is like kind of one of those really cool electronica brands that every electro musician wants to play with.
Yeah, well, all started 84 with Roger Lynn and the drum machine, and they sort of built it up to a device which was Akai branded, which was called the MPC60, and everything's come all the way from there. So basically it's all about drum machines, programming drums, and doing it without a computer essentially.
Yeah, there's no need for that additional hardware as such. Literally what you have here can create your entire experience for you.
And that's the way music making was always done, and the way the guys programmed. You know, everything was programmed on the hardware, it worked out from this side, and then exported and punched up to a computer sometimes for mastering. Nowadays, the focus has gone more towards the computer and working with a keyboard and mouse. And the problem is, keyboard and mouse are not really creative tools. You've got one point of contact, you've got a couple of words, you know, it's not really musically arranged, and it's not arranged to be a creative tool. So we find is put the right devices in front of people, controllers, drum machines, pads. You start to make it an instrument, and you start to be more creative, and your projects come out more creative, they come out quicker, and you have more control.
And it's not just the sounds that are obviously on the device today. You can add so many more external sounds, vocals, you can add samples. You can really create your own world.
Exactly that. So MPC has got a 16 gig built-in hard drive, pre-filled with 12 gig of content. It has a dock underneath for an SSD drive. You can get up to 2 terabyte of all your samples loaded in. So we get lots of guys like, oh, I've got all my hard drives loaded up, put all your stuff into one hard drive, put it into the MPCs, and you can aggregate and search your samples using the device itself.
Now, a big thing, and I'm not quite sure if this can be done, but there's a lot of stuff where you're finding online now that you're getting these external sound banks, people like Output, etc., that have got the arcade bank of samples, which I use a lot of, which I absolutely love.
Yeah.
Are you able then to like kind of control that as well on something like this?
Well, they're all searchable. So, I mean, it's got full MIDI and audio functioning. So if you want to pull in an audio sample and say cut your loop up and pull out a hat or the kick out of a specific loop that you like, it's all possible. It can all be spliced on board.
You can bring in other instruments inside.
Totally. I mean, it's got built-in synthesizers. It's got 4 synths built in. It's got compression, limiting, EQs, parametrics, everything all built into the device itself. So there is really not a need for any other device. You can do everything standalone.
Tell me about this little baby that we have in front of us now, because obviously this is one of the new babies.
Yeah, this is MPCX. This is the latest and greatest in terms of the MPC range. You know, a lot of the Akai customers were saying we don't want something attached to the computer anymore. We want something that's standalone, something you can work on, something that has the same workflow as we were dealing with on the earlier devices. So in music, I've come up with the MPCX. It uses the multi-core system, so it's got a quad-core processor built into it, RAM built into it, hard drive, everything built into the unit itself. Audio cards built in, it's a 2N6 out, it's got MIDI, it's got control voltage. So all those things that you need to run in a studio in terms of recording, capturing audio, editing audio, affecting it, bouncing it down, can all be done standalone on the device itself. And that's really listened to what the users wanted to do in terms of providing a studio centerpiece, nothing else needed.
Show us a little bit about this baby now.
Okay, cool. So I mean, it's a normal MPC layout. You know, you've got our 4x4 pad matrix here. It's all backlit. They're full pressure sensitive, so you can go from light touches all the way to live touches. Full control over all your pads. You can decide what you want to be controlling there, pad parameters, scenes, project or screen control. On the actual screen itself, you can see the MIDI roll. We can actually go into individual modes. We can arrange them on the timeline. And to take a listen to their project, we can go stop and play. You can see the MIDI roll running. Want to make it fancy, we can always put a parameter onto it.
Also, from a live content creation, this is like, you can really have a lot of fun in a live environment.
You know, I think, especially with a lot of the art forms nowadays, the tendency is to sort of bring in a backtrack and have someone sing over a backtrack, and that is what it is, you know, but
I can sample my voice into this as well.
you can swap your voice into this. You can have someone actually performing and playing live while you're performing over it and playing with it. You know, guys like John May at the moment is taking an MPCX with him, plugging his mic in, plugging his guitar in, triggering his tracks off here, and then playing and performing just with an X. So
what more is needed?
Exactly. To control yourself, you know, you're giving the essence of what you are. I've programmed everything. I've put everything into this. This is my essence, and this is the way I want to perform with it. You know, and it's pure, and that's what.
Now, what's this going to set me back? That's the big question.
You're looking at about 40K for the MPCX. But remember, if you put up the top of a computer, a door, audio interface.
Good Mac is 40 grand these days.
Exactly. So you're really sort of shortcutting yourself into that. And this is fully workable with the computer. It's got USB 3 connectivity. So if you wanted to plug into a computer and use it as a VST instrument within a DAW, you still have that possibility to be able to run. And a lot of guys do run it that way. Do your creative stuff on here, use it as a sketch pad, and then bounce out your separates and master in a separate program.
Cool, man. Head on down to Icons. You got to check out this piece of product. We're loving it. The MPCX from Akai. Thanks so much for showing it to us today.
Pleasure, guys.
Cool. We'll catch you later. Cheers.